Throughout history, volcanic eruptions have been responsible for some of the most destructive events on Earth. Volcanoes are essentially Earth's pressure valves, allowing molten rock, ash, and gases to escape from beneath the surface. But when this process happens violently, the consequences can be disastrous. Some of the most infamous eruptions have caused mass destruction, leading to the loss of thousands of lives. In this video, we'll see such terrifying wildfires and volcanic eruptions. One of the worst wildfires in recent history happened in Australia in the winter of 2019 to 2020. More than 18 million hectares of land were burned over the course of several months, ruining thousands of homes and killing or moving nearly 3 billion animals. The air was thick with smoke, and the sky went orange. This had an effect on the air quality even thousands of miles away. Wildfires happen all the time in Australia, but this one was by far the biggest one ever. Climate experts said it was caused by higher temperatures and a long drought, which makes people worry about future fire seasons. The 2018 California Camp Fire was another terrible blaze that sent shockwaves around the world. Northern California had a fire that quickly became the deadliest in the state's history. It destroyed the whole town of Paradise. Many people did not make it out in time, and thousands of people were forced to leave with little notice. Because it was dry and windy, the fire spread so quickly that it was almost impossible for firemen to contain. More than 85 people died and tens of thousands of houses were destroyed in just a few days. After the disaster, the roads were lined with burned-out cars, and areas were reduced to nothing but rubble. Later, it was found that the fire was caused by electrical equipment that wasn't working right. The Amazon rainforest, which is sometimes called the lungs of the planet, has also been the site of many terrible fires. In 2019, huge fires broke out all over the Amazon, caused by the illegal cutting down of trees and dry conditions. A lot of carbon dioxide was released into the air when the fires destroyed large parts of the jungle. The Amazon is very important for collecting greenhouse gases, and losing it would have big effects on climate change. Around the world, pictures of the forest on fire caused outrage and calls for better environmental protection. In 2018, Greece saw one of the most devastating wildfire disasters in recent history. The town of Mati on the coast was destroyed by fires that killed over 100 people in just a few hours. People didn't have time to do anything because the fires were moving so fast. Many people were stuck in their homes or cars, and others tried to get to the sea to escape the fire. The Greek flames were a tragic example of how quickly a fire can grow into a destructive force that can't be stopped. While wildfires are terrible, they are not the only natural disasters to have wreaked havoc on the Earth. Volcanic events have also left deep marks on history. The 79 AD eruption of Mount Vesuvius is one of the most well-known in history. It was so severe that the Roman towns of Pompeii and Herculaneum were buried under a thick layer of volcanic ash and pumice. This kept them almost perfectly preserved for hundreds of years. The eruption happened so quickly and strongly that many people were frozen in time. Their last moments are shown in creepy plaster casts that were made by researchers hundreds of years later. It was a total disaster, and it is still one of the most studied volcanic events ever. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. Let's move on with our video. The 1883 eruption of Krakatoa was another terrible volcanic event. People thousands of miles away could hear this explosion, which was one of the loudest sounds ever recorded. Over 36,000 people were killed by the tsunamis that were caused by the blast. The huge amounts of ash and sulfur dioxide that were put into the air temporarily lowered temperatures around the world, which caused strange red sunsets for years. This event showed that a single volcanic eruption can have an effect on not only a small area, but also the whole world. However, the eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia in 1815 was one of the most violent volcanoes ever recorded. This was a VEI 7 event, which means it was one of the most powerful explosions that could happen. So much ash was sent into the air by the eruption that 1816 was known as the Year Without a Summer. Europe and North America had crops fail because it was too cold for the season, which caused widespread hunger. More than 100,000 people died around the world, both directly and indirectly. In human history, it is still one of the deadliest volcanic events. Even the most prepared experts are sometimes caught off guard by volcanoes. Hawaii's Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai volcano exploded in January 2022, making it one of the strongest explosions ever recorded. The eruption caused shockwaves that went all over the world and a tsunami that hit many countries. The phenomenal moment when the blast sent a huge column of ash and steam miles into the sky was caught on camera by satellites. Tonga, an island country close by, was cut off from the rest of the world for weeks because of the eruption. This eruption was so strong that it changed the pressure in the atmosphere around the world, which affected weather patterns thousands of miles away. When Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, it was one of the most dramatic natural events ever seen in the United States. In Washington state, this volcano had been showing signs of activity for weeks before it finally erupted on May 18th. The explosion was so strong that it destroyed the north face of the mountain, precipitating a huge landslide that wiped out woods for miles. The thick layer of volcanic dust covered several states as the ash cloud rose more than 80,000 feet into the sky. Many people died, and billions of dollars worth of damage was done by the explosion. Scientists have conducted significant research on this event, utilizing it to better understand how volcanic eruptions occur and how to forecast them in the future. Volcanic eruptions can also alter landscapes, sometimes with disastrous effects. Kilauea volcano in Hawaii erupted in 2018 and destroyed hundreds of homes with lava for months. Unlike Krakatoa or Mount St. Helens, which erupted with a lot of force, Kilauea's explosion was slow but constant, covering everything in its path with molten rock. Lava flows destroyed whole neighborhoods, and roads vanished under the hot rivers of molten rock. The fire did not directly kill anyone, but it did cause a lot of damage and left many people without a place to live. Hawaii's coastline also changed shape during the eruption. As the lava cooled and hardened in the water, it added new land to the island. Nature's power is both awe-inspiring and humbling. As we continue to study these disasters, we gain a greater appreciation for the delicate balance of our planet. Though wildfires and volcanic eruptions have brought destruction and loss, they have also helped shape the landscapes we see today. The Earth is ever-changing, and while we cannot stop its fury, we can learn to live with it, prepare for it, and perhaps, one day, even harness it for the benefit of future generations.